Welcome to the third in a series of videos on how you can transform the COVID crisis from danger into opportunity. In this video, I'm going to focus on opportunities to help you survive throughout the crisis. You know, one of my favorite investors is a guy named Howard Marks, who has made money in all of the major market meltdowns of the past 40 years. Very wise guy, he's a billionaire. And he recently wrote, "If you've never experienced something before, you can't say how you know it's going to turn out." I think these are very wise words. That's the important thing in looking at this crisis. We've never been through anything like this before. Therefore, we're all on an extreme learning curve. We all have no existing algorithm for understanding what's going on. So what we have is a remarkably unpredictable situation. There are three simultaneous, unprecedented developments going on throughout the entire world. First, we have a global pandemic, which has hit every country in the world. We have a massive global economic contraction. And third, we have massive debt monetization and fiscal expansion by governments all over the world. These three things have never happened at the same time in our lifetimes and in the lifetimes of everyone living today. So what is the common sense way of looking at these developments? Well, smart people are focusing on and understanding the fact that they're uncertain. For example, on May 13th, Fed Chairman Jerome Powell described the outlook as highly uncertain and subject to significant downside risks. He cautioned that economic recovery may not take place until the end of 2021. We all know Warren Buffett. He's arguably the world's greatest investor. And in past economic meltdowns, such as 2008, he was buying. He was immediately in the market buying cheap. But this time, he's taking a completely different attitude. In fact, he's not buying at all. He's sitting on $137 billion of cash, and he's been selling rather than buying. He's sold his airline stocks, and he's even sold banking stocks like Goldman Sachs. Why is he taking such a risk-averse position? Well, because he's called this an unparalleled situation with too many uncertainties. So he's taking a worst-case scenario in mind. An Indian business icon who I really respect is Uday Kotak. He's a great survivor. And I interviewed him for my book, Master Opportunity and Make It Big, a couple of years ago, and he pointed out that in 1997 there were 4,000 NBFCs in India, and only 20 of them survived the financial crisis of that year, including, of course, his own company. To survive, he had to cut his balance sheet by 50%. And he pointed out to me that sustainability is a very important part of the journey. If you can't sustain in the tough times, you won't benefit from the good times that always follow. It's crucial in order to survive that you must focus on conserving your resources. For example, when Steve Jobs was brought back to Apple in 1996, the company was on the edge of bankruptcy. The first thing he did was to cut the product line of computers from 355 to only 10. And the second thing he did was to go out to Bill Gates hat in hand and raise $150 million. And when people asked him, "Why are you doing this?" he said, "I must conserve resources in order to be able to focus on the best new opportunities." And of course, he was tremendously successful at that. So what is your first priority in this crisis? Your first priority is to focus on internal opportunities. These are opportunities that revolve around your corporate mission and your business model. And you must focus on surviving for a 2-year period. First and foremost, you must avoid using hope as a strategy, and you must prepare for the worst case scenario. It's critical that you cut costs and innovate efficiencies. Your goal is to avoid insolvency by preserving and raising cash. Instead of fighting a competitive battle, you should seek to cooperate with competitors to lobby the government for industry relief. Remember, the good times will come after the virus, but you must survive in order to benefit. In this lesson, I've talked about opportunities to survive the COVID crisis. In my next video, I'll move on to lesson 4, where I cover opportunities that will help you thrive and make money from the COVID crisis. So stay subscribed to my YouTube channel or check me out on LinkedIn, where I'll give you notifications when my next video is released.